Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's NIKKI here and we're back with another video. We're back with NIKKI Reacts, and for today's video, we're gonna be reacting to 16 dangerous cursed objects of the world. So, let's see if these cursed objects are actually cursed objects. So, yeah, before we get into the video, if you guys haven't seen my last video, it's gonna be linked up on the screen. Click it somewhere. And if you guys haven't yet, please do subscribe. Click that bell right next to it. Tickle it, make it laugh, it'll help your girl out. So yeah. The first object, or the 16th object, is the haunted wedding dress. This haunted wedding dress was worn by Anna Baker, who fell in love with an industrial engineer. This wedding dress is actually cursed and usually brought on by immense sadness or anger, or might be a combination of both. This is what the haunted wedding dress looks like. Yeah. Doesn't really look like your modern day wedding dress. Well, so Anna allegedly parted ways from her house to marry her boyfriend, but her father shot her idea down. So he was no with the going to his boyfriend, getting married and all that jazz. He forcibly turned her and confined her in her chamber, according to the story. She refused to marry anybody else after that and lived alone for the rest of her life. How sad. Following her death, members of the Baker family reported seeing Anna's bridal gown in various locations around the house. Well, that's what you get for, not making her make her own decision. Some of them even saw Anna Baker's soul roaming around the house and clothed in her wedding dress because she really wanted to, wear that wedding dress, married her boyfriend and all that jazz, but then no. Her father did not approve, locked her in a chamber, she passed away there, and that's what happened. So that's why the bridal gown is cursed. The 15th object is a mirror of Myrtle's plantation. I actually know this plantation because I watched the Sam and Colby video, and yeah, this is what they're actually looking at when they go to that Myrtle's plantation, is this mirror. And funny, you might not want to check yourself in that mirror though. You might see something else. Why? Because the Myrtle's farm in Louisiana, US is said to be one of the world's most haunted sites. So a mirror, on the other hand, is the most terrifying and one of the cursed objects in the house. So one of more. This is the most cursed object in that plantation. Locals believe the mirror is haunted and contains the spirit of Sarah Woodruff and her 2 children who were poisoned by their servant Chloe. The 14th object, the Hope Diamond. So that's a very beautiful looking necklace. Yeah. Diamond size of a walnut sounds pretty awesome. Is that's a big diamond, huh? And yeah, until you find out that most of its owner dies tragic and horrible deaths. Okay. The Hope Diamond is another cursed object that must be guarded out of the reach of most people, so it's that haunted. This legendary gem is valued to be at $250 million. Cha-ching, big baby. And is particularly enormous with a relaxing blue hue. Wow. This diamond. However, since the 17th century, the diamond has been thought to be damned, bringing immense sorrow and unhappiness to those who wore it. According to the legend, a French dealer pulled the diamond from one of the eyes of a Hindu statue in 1653. Good heavens, that's a long time ago. And anyone who holds this 115-carat blue diamond has been cursed ever since. Wow. Okay, 13. The Iceman. Pretty interesting looking photo. Wow, he's been iced? Yeah, I think so. The corpse of Otzi, sometimes known as the Iceman, was discovered in Otzi Alps in Italy in 1991. Oh, it's a year before. The Iceman is thought to have lived around 4000 BC for Christ, and his remains were mummified due to the ice that covered him after he died. So, hence the name Iceman. People engaged in his finding, however, began to perish in horrific accidents shortly following his discovery. Oh my gosh. So, if you come across this Iceman, just be careful. You might be cursed or something. Yeah. So people believe that the discovery of Iceman is a catastrophe that has the potential to wipe humanity out. So do not go near this nightmare, please. Number 12, the Chair of Death, which looks like a normal rocking chair, but the history behind it tells it all. So being wary of ancient tombs and jewels is bad enough, but now it seems we should also remember to watch where it sits. Because it might be one of the cursed objects that we are mentioning. This wooden furniture, also known as the Busby's stoop chair, is cursed by the soul of Thomas Busby, who was infamous for viciously murdering people. Wait, well, that's why this chair is, cursed. He wanted a supper in his favorite neighborhood bar before being hanged for his misdeeds. After eating his dinner, he rose and shouted, "May sudden death comes to everyone who dares to sit in my chair." Wow. And since then, 63 individuals have died in an untimely and horrible manner. The chair was then transferred to the Thirsk Museum in the United Kingdom, which is still there, hung 1.5 meters from the ground to prevent any additional tragedies. So, these curious people come into these museums and be like, ooh, it's just so, chair doing a museum. So they sit on it, and little did they know it's actually cursed. This is why they hang it 1.5 meters above the ground. Well, smart idea. 11, Dybbuk. I think we all know us paranormal enthusiasts of horror and haunted. We all know what a Dybbuk is. We all know that it's cursed. The Dybbuk box gets its inappropriate name because it contains a Dybbuk, which is a malicious and restless spirit with the ability to possess the living people. The Dybbuk box first surfaced in 2001 when Kevin Mannis bought a wine cupboard and began suffering terrifying nightmares. Okay. He subsequently chose to give the cabinet to his mom, who tragically died of a stroke the day after receiving it. Cursed, cursed, cursed. Not only that, but everyone who has ever had the wine cabinet has reported horrific things happening to them. Jason Haxton, the cabinet previous owners, discovered that the box is haunted by a ghost of a wicked Jewish entity known as a Dybbuk. There you go. Who has the capacity to haunt and dominate the living. So never, 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 never open a Dybbuk box unless you're protected or, you have protection with you. Very strong protection. Okay, number 10, the Screaming Skull. The Screaming Skull. The Screaming Skull is one of the most terrifying cursed objects that can be found at Burton Agnes Hall in Burton Agnes, England. The wailing head is thought to be that of Catherine Ann Griffith, who died in the same house in 1620 after being tormented. Good heavens. Every night, a scary spirit may be seen walking around the skull, creating deafening noises and frightening anyone who attempts to dislodge the skull. So do not touch the skull. If you see something lurking around it, just leave it, or just leave the premises for your own safety. Number 9, the painting. That's a creepy looking painting though. Wow, the child looks old. The baby is sad. Got hands creeping out the windows. Just okay. Anyway, what does this got to say? What happens when you buy a captivating painting to add a little extra decor to your room? This is why you also gotta watch out what you buy at flea markets or antique shops. They know the history before you buy it, only to discover later that the characters in the painting have some unusual ability to make themselves vanish from the painting. Creepy. Bill Stoneham's painting, Hand Resist Him. Well, can't resist him. Hand Resist Him is perhaps one of the eeriest and cursed objects of art. The scary painting is a portrayal of a gateway that links to our world with the world of souls, according to the painter. Wow, is he going through something? The painting's proprietors allege that the people in the painting shift or vanish during the night. So, number 8, the Agonized Man. Oh, he looks agonized, alright. You might want to rethink before buying any painting for your home after knowing this cursed object's history. Exactly what I said. Watch out what you buy at antique shops or flea markets. Art. Sean Robinson was captivated by the beauty of the Anguished Man painting, which he received from his grandmother and opted to display on the walls of his home. Soon after, Sean and his family began to experience unexplainable phenomena, like slamming doors in the middle of the night, and unexpected guttural screams, cries. Oh my gosh. You know what, if I hear that like the first night of buying the painting, I'd be like, it's the painting. Gotta give it back. Sean's wife decided to go into the artwork's origins and discovered that the artist who created it committed suicide before doing so by mixing his own blood with the paint he used to create. Oh god, that is horrifying. Wow. When the couple learned of this, they chose to hide the artwork in the basement of their home, and I'm assuring that the home is still haunted because the painting is still in his house. Number 7, the gypsy doll. Wow. Okay. I gave it a fright. Gypsy doll is great. A Romanian man created a doll for his child Leda, according to the Romanians. Tragically, the youngster died while playing with the doll, trapping his hand soul inside and making this doll into a cursed object. How is that even possible? The owner then decided to give the doll to one of his employees' kids. Why would you do that? You wanna curse other people's kids? Gosh, so mean. The boy stated that the doll communicated with him, while subsequent proprietors stated that holding the doll or being near it causes them to experience overwhelming grief and drives them to grieve for no explicable reason. If you see that type of gypsy doll, stay away. Number 6, the evil doll. Oh, so many dolls in these cursed objects. Oh my god. Looks like someone pinned his face with like, needles. One of Robert Otto's employees, who obviously despised the family, gave him a look-alike doll. Robert's relatives used to overhear him conversing with the dummy. A couple purchased the house after he died, and their 8-year-old child discovered the doll in the basement. They were leaving their dolls in the basement for other people to find. Yeah. Little did they know it's cursed. The little child claimed that the doll was attempting to murder her in several instances. So much. Child, if that happens to you, tell your parents right away. But then the thing is, what if the parents don't believe you? Sad truth. Numero 5. Elmo. Elmo, who would have thought? But there's a history. What happens when the cartoon character you watch while growing up haunt you? Elmo, the renowned Sesame Street character, was made into a doll that was designed to remember his owner's name. James Bowman, a little child, was a great Sesame fan, so his mother decided to give him one for his 10th birthday. The Elmo toy, on the other hand, began chanting "Kill James" non-stop just a few days later. That's kind of creepy. His mother was forced to discard the cursed toy as a result of this. After a few years, further similar events involving the Elmo doll surfaced, which eventually made it to one of the cursed objects. It depends on where the mother got the Elmo doll, or who made it, with what material. Number 4, the Lem statue. The woman from Lem is an eye-catching object sculpted from a limestone. Limestone is a great conductor of energy. That was discovered in Cyprus in 1878. 4 distinct families are reported to have possessed the sculpture, each of whom died within a few years of acquiring the object. You know it's cursed when that happens. The lone remaining member of the last family surrendered the statue to the Royal Scottish Gallery in Edinburgh, Scotland, fearful of the figure's lethal history. Number 3, almost there. The Basano vase. I don't know if I said that right. Basano vase? Vase? The Basano vase, crafted in the 15th century by an Italian girl on her honeymoon as a gift for her fiancé, is yet another cursed object that must not be disturbed. So do not disturb the objects. Locals claim that she was killed the same night she was found with the vase in her hand. Well, the vase was subsequently handed down from family to family to family, which each family claiming to have lost a beloved one. So you know it's cursed if that, domino effect happens. It was presented to a number of galleries in 1988, but none of them took it due to the jinx, because they know the history. Number 2, the painting of the crying boy. Oh wow, this gives me so much sadness. Wow. The following are the facts. Giovanni Bragolin, an Italian artist, painted a portrait of a weeping boy that for some reason became quite famous in 1950s and was reproduced in a large number of reproductions. Wow. The Sun, a dependable British daily, stated that in 1985 that a fireman claimed to have discovered these paintings in various residences destroyed by the fire, regardless of the fact that the prints were in pristine conditions. According to reports, British firemen were so disturbed by the phenomenon that none of them would allow replicas of the picture inside their houses. So, more incidents of prints surviving wildfire were reported both before and after the article, and myth emerged that the artwork was of an orphan whose home had been set ablaze. Wow. What I'm curious about is why so many people wanted to hang a crying child's image on their wall in the first place. Exactly, why would you guys do that? Just put a happy boy's face on the wall. Not a crying boy, it's too sad. And we all know what number 1 is. The ever-famous Annabelle doll. So, this is not actually the real Annabelle doll. The real Annabelle doll looks like this, and the movie Annabelle doll looks like the one I just showed. Already, most people have watched Annabelle, but here is the real incident that actually took place around this cursed doll. A woman gave a dirty-looking doll to her child, Donna, who was in nursing school when she bought it in an antique shop in 1970. This is why you gotta watch out what you buy in an antique shop. It's just the history around it. Yeah. Donna and her roommate Angie continued returning home to discover the doll in different positions and locations. You know, if that happens, the doll is cursed. The doll that began to live the notes that said, "Help." Then they discovered the doll covered in blood. Creepy. The psychic told them that the doll was haunted by the soul of a girl named Annabelle, who had died near the construction site of their apartment building. So Lou investigated after hearing that what sounded like someone in the next room. The girls heard him cry and went to find Lou with 2 enormous claw marks on his chest, despite the fact that no one was in the room. Amityville Home investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, we all know who that is, determined that the doll was actually a gateway to hell that the devil was using. Like what the evil does to children, because it's pure, they latch onto them. Like this doll, they latch onto the doll because it's pretty, it's, you know, looks pure, yeah. After 2 failed exorcisms, the doll is currently kept behind protection in Warren's occult exhibition, where it still moves. Yeah, and that made it one of the cursed objects in scary history. So that was 16 cursed objects of the world. Yeah, I hope you like that, and if you guys like more of these type of videos, like, you know, if you guys want to see haunted places, sure, why not? You know, if you guys like this video, please leave a like, and it'll help your girl out. If you guys have any suggestions, please comment them down, it'll help your girl out. And yeah, please do subscribe, click that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a brand new video. Follow me on Instagram because more haunted videos coming, more exploration videos, more of this historical videos if you guys like that. And I'll see you guys in the next video.